Hey champ, you feeling like Mr. Bully? You feeling like Everton maybe? Are you crying, peeing in your pants because your club isn't sustainable? Let's go ahead and change your football manager diaper. And I'm going to show you 7 things so that you're financially stable forever and never have to worry about it ever again. Maybe you even grow you some freaking financial triceps while we're at it. All right, let's cover 7 things. We're starting with invest in the future. All right, so what does invest in the future mean? It means what the name suggests. No, seriously, there's a couple key points in this. Scouting, budget deals, club sustainability, i.e. youth intake, high potential, signing for high potential. Okay, let's start with scouting. So scouting, there's a couple factors that go into this. Your staff, i.e. your scouts, and then beyond that, your actual scouting methods. Okay, so staff first. It's all about judging ability and judging potential. As simple as that. These numbers, 17 and 15, that's what we're looking for. Typically, I find you want anything above 15, and you're going to get a pretty accurate view of what it is. So if you're looking for the future specifically, you're going to want to look at potential, okay? If you actually find someone, a scout that can judge decent potential, it's much more likely that you'll have an accurate picture of a 16-year-old Brazilian that you want to sign. So the main goal with scouting is going to be making for-profit signings. These can immediately turn your club around, or they can turn your club around over a long term. So for-profit signings are just going to set your future up. Okay, a method here to identify good scouts easily. First, go to your staff and your staff search. I did search, scout, world reputation, any, employed, no. Okay. Once you get here into the filter for scouting, this won't have just scouting assignments. It'll also have judging player ability, judging player potential. So those are the key 2 ones that you want to add in. Find the highest potential that you can get, and then try and bargain down that price in the actual contract signing screen. Okay, the second part of investing in the future here is in actually scouting. There's 2 ways you can go about scouting, manually or automated in a sense. Automated is going to mean you're going to set up recruitment focuses. What does a good recruitment focus look like? Let me show you. So first of all, make sure tactic here is set to any position from tactic. Transfer or loan, transfer and loan if you're at a lower level. For me, being Everton in this save, I'm looking for 5-star current ability in silver, right? So it's lesser than the gold, but 2.5 in potential ability. This typically is going to give you a wide range of players. Not a lot of times you're going to get players with much more high potential than that in there. Whereas if you bump this up to 4.5, it's going to be much harder to find someone that's guaranteed to be, a Premier League all-star. So 2.5 is I find typically a good range. Age between 15 and 18. And then beyond that, you're going to want to go through and set up probably 3 to 4 nations as the scouting assignment. So for this, Colombia, Ecuador, Venezuela, right? Because we can get some good bargain, cheap players here. And this obviously depends on your scouting package. If it's just Europe, well, go to Romania, go to Bulgaria. Those are countries where you can probably find cheap, for-profit players. The second method of scouting I find produces much better results. It can feel a little cheesy at times, but it gets much better results. We're going to go to a country with high potential ability. You can type it in here, or go to your world icon. South America, Brazil, Argentina, Europe, France. But for example, we'll just use Croatia. Then we go here, national teams, U18. Click anywhere in a gray box, Control A or Command A if you're on a Mac, right click, report, scout for 1 week. But this is a great way to do so and actually find players faster than what your scouts would find. So once scouting is completed, you want to actually identify the players that you want to sign for profit. So great way to do this, players, scouted players. Transfer, you're going to check this box, doubtful, or loan if you're looking for a loan as well. Edit search, I like to put the age range to 15 to 18. If you're looking for a player that can start right now, change that age range up. But for me, I'm looking for 15 to 18-year-olds that I can develop as homegrown talent. We'll get to the importance of homegrown talent here in a second. But for now, 15 to 18 is a good range to find wonder kids. And then simply filter by potential. Just click that. It's going to show you top down all the way highest potential players. You can see here we've got some price ranges and everything, that these are accurate, as in there's no strike through, there's no unknown. These down below are not accurate. So typically what I do in this situation would be right click, fully scout players. This is going to get you that full understanding of them and get you a much more accurate prediction of price, potential, ability, etc. So you can notice here that this player has 3.5 gold stars and 1.5 white stars. This means simply it's unknown what the rest of this player's potential is, but it's expected that there'll at least be a 3.5 star potential. This might only be 2 stars for a team like Arsenal or Chelsea, or someone that has much higher level players. So beyond just that star rating, it's important to actually look through the player, see what's good, what's bad about them. Main thing here, FM Engine, it likes physical players. We're going to look for great physicality, which for an 18-year-old goalkeeper, this kid's got good stuff. Beyond that, the next biggest thing you can look at is personality. So this is a balanced personality. That's fine. It means their hidden mental attributes are probably okay, decent. There's nothing crazy. There's nothing terrible. I'm going to link down below a link to a personality spreadsheet. It'll walk you through the best personalities that you can get. It'll also walk you through personalities that you can work with. And then it'll also highlight the personalities you don't want. So my last note on investing in the future is going to be in your youth academy. Okay, so this comprises a couple things. Of course, recruitment, youth recruitment, coaching, the country you're in. There's many things that can affect how good your youth intakes are. But if you are in a country like England, playing at a large club or a club you've built up over 10 years, it's likely that you're going to get good youth intakes, and it's worth not ignoring. A player here like James Gwynn is set up well to have a great future. You can see obviously the yellow up arrows, always pretty to see. Hidden away a potential of 150, so this player would be good for the future. He'd be a Premier League player. And more importantly, these players are going to come through as homegrown. Again, we'll cover homegrown a little bit, but these players could be pure profit. It costed your club $0, £0, €0, 0 yen, whatever. It costed you nothing to bring them in. Okay, so anything you sell them on for later is pure profit, which is going to directly affect your sustainability. Okay, so point 2, sign for profit, not success. If you're in a dire situation, go ahead and sign for profit. You want to identify players with decent current ability that are undervalued. For example, Luka Jovic, we picked up for $6 million. You might not be able to do this in your save, but in this save, he was pissed off at AC Milan, so he picked him up for nothing. Pennies, right? He comes in as a decent Premier League striker. Nothing crazy, but he'll get the job done. He'll score some goals. He can fill the shoes from Calvert-Lewin. And more importantly, you can see here, the estimated cost has gone up to 25 to 28 million. So if we continue to play him, his cost will likely go up the better he gets, quote unquote, or just the better success, the longer he's here in England. So you can move this player on for, I'd bet, 40 million in this save here. And obviously, that's great turnaround, 36 million. A good place to find bargain deals is in leagues with lower reputation than yours. For example, if you're in the Prem, good leagues to look at would be Austria, Portugal, Russia. Similar to real life, players can be just as good as a Prem player, but will be significantly cheaper if they're in a different league than yours. Beyond that, to my earlier point, homegrown potential. If you sign a player at or under 18 years old, they will become trained in nation and trained at club. Once they reach this marker, they can be not as good as a player from a foreign league, but they'll impact a club's eligibility, which increases and gives that premium to the price tag. If you focus now on driving up the bank account, you can focus on the wonder kids later. You might not think of dynamics affecting your club's sustainability, but it definitely does. This is anecdotal, but the AI likes to target unsettled players, and typically they'll end up getting them for much less than their actual value. So keeping dynamics up will allow you to dictate in the transfer negotiations and give you the upper hand. So how do you maintain dynamics? Simple. You can add team bonding training. To add team bonding training, go to your training tab, overview or calendar, go into an open slot or a slot that you don't care about, click it, extracurricular team bonding. Another but slower and more tedious way is going to go to your individual players. For example, Mikalenko's low on morale at the moment. Right click, speak about, praise player, praise conduct. And if they've been training well, you can praise their training as well. Lastly, playing time. It's really, really important to make sure your players get the playing time they've agreed to. So a trick here is going to be go to your players, your squad tab, add in your agreed playing time, filter down by that, and then go to each player, click them, overview, happiness, actual playing time, change, see, first choice goalkeeper, cup goalkeeper. Notice on cup goalkeeper here, the decrease in the playing time would result in him being pissed off, okay? So we can go to first choice goalkeeper instead, change playing time, and he won't be pissed off. Whereas if we go down that extra step, he's going to be pissed off. So what that does is it just allows you to regulate playing time expectations so that if a player isn't starting every match, they're not as angry with you as if you had stayed on their previously agreed playing time. And lastly, with dynamics, having good dynamics is going to directly affect your results on the pitch, more so than even tactics might. Having good results on the pitch obviously is going to make you more money, put you into better competitions, better placing, etc. All right, category 4. Get the most out of transfers. It can be difficult actually getting the most out of selling your players. So how do you actually do it? Here's some of my tips. Set the max transfer value for a player before they get angry. Simply go transfer status, and then over here, go to asking price and change this all the way until it says would not be happy, and then just click down to the next one. So you can see here, Onana went up from 130 million to 136 million. There's an increase in transfer value. We're not going to get this for him. It raises the floor value that you're going to sell your players for rather than just leaving it as a range. All right, tip 2. If a player wants to force a transfer out and will get unsettled if you don't accept it, you can still deny it. If you don't think the value is good enough, deny it. The player will get unsettled, come to talk to you, agree to talk to them, and then agree on the highest possible price that you can sell them for. A lot of times, a club will come back with that bid, and then you have to accept it. If not, now you get to hold on to your player. Lastly, if you have multiple offers for a player, you can accept the highest offer and deny all the others. A lot of times, clubs will come back and re-offer at that value that you've agreed to with the other team, and then you can tick that up even further and then cancel the highest one previously, etc. You can do this process, repeat over and over, all the way to build up a player's value and really maximize transfer. My next category here is wage structure. It's a pretty simple one. Don't sign players for ridiculous contracts. Go to your squad view and see who your highest earning player is. Typically, you don't want to go much beyond this. If we were to sign a player on a $20 million a year salary, he's going to be very happy with this $20 million. But then Mr. Pickford over here and Decore and Ali are going to all want more money. This can sort of sneak up on you. And over time, your salary can just really balloon up and then tank your club's finances. A caveat with this one is that a lot of times, if if you do increase players' average salaries, your board will raise your salary cap over time to sort of match the direction you're going. However, the board is just dumb AI. You need to have your finances taken into account. Keep an eye on your finances is going to allow you to get things like the new stadium or improve youth recruitment. My sixth tip here, don't ask for stupid shit. Building on what I just said, do you actually need the new stadium? You've got a 60,000 seater? Maybe not, right? Do you actually need to agree to increase the analysts' salaries? Probably not. My last tip is to not ignore staff finances. Similar to player finances, these can really sneak up on you. So I've got two comparable coaches here. I've got Steve Stone making $650,000 a year. I mean, decent stats. And then we've also signed Dennis Bergkamp at $114,000 a year. Again, decent stats, decent personality for a sixth of the price. Over time, if you just keep renewing these contracts, again, it will sneak up on you. You can get a comparable staff member for less price most of the time. I promise you that if you follow those 7 tips, you're going to turn your club around. You're going to be rich. You're going to be big baller brand. You're going to be signing Lonzo Ball on $10 million a year to play soccer just because you can.